Hey guys, Will here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about self-driving and autonomous cars and autonomous features in cars. So for a while now we've had features in cars like automatic lane correction or lane deviation warnings and collision avoidance, automatic braking, you know, cruise control being obviously the most basic one, and ABS and that kind of thing. But you know, the technology's really progressed in the last 5 or 10 years to the point where a lot of the things now cars just do it themselves. Now, for me personally, I feel a mixed bag of emotions about, you know, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But what we're seeing now is cars like Tesla cars, which literally can drive themselves. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is I saw a video on the internet the other day which really amazed me, and I'll show you that video now. So what you see in that video is the Tesla detects via radar a collision about to happen about half a second before the driver had even an opportunity to know. So the car 2 cars ahead of the dash cam car jams on the brakes, and the car behind it doesn't even have a chance. But the interesting thing is that collision warning chime goes off, you know, a good half second before even the most attuned human driver would ever have known that there was something going on. And the reason for that is because the Tesla was using radar, so it was actually able to see through the car in front and forward to what was going on in the car in front. And then obviously the Tesla's applied the brakes and a collision's been avoided. Now, I mean, a human driver may not have had an accident, they may have been able to avoid that situation, but you know, that's the first time I've actually seen hard evidence of a self-driving car avoiding a situation that a human probably wouldn't have avoided. So it was a pretty amazing thing. Now, what I'm interested in is to hear what your thoughts are on this, because you know, I'm in two, like I mentioned, I'm in two minds about it, because I think that features like lane correction and automatic parking and, you know, all those kinds of features that make driving easier and more convenient, I feel, for me, and this car has a lot of those features, but I tend to not use them because I feel like if anything that takes your attention away from the task of driving is a bad thing. Like I think that people need to be on their toes to an extent, and you need to be paying attention. And if I know that, I mean, a perfect example is my mother-in-law's car has this thing where when you change lanes, there's a blind spot indicator on the side mirror. So when you indicate, or when you begin to change lanes, if there's a car there, you see the little indicator light pop up on your mirror, and you know, oh, it's not safe to change lanes. So what happens is you don't end up even looking in your mirror. And everybody, when they get one of those cars, you know, they say, oh, you know, it won't change how I drive, it's fine. And you know, if you read the manual, it says that it's a supplement, it's not meant to be relied on as a primary source of information. And yet you become lazy with these features. And I took her car on holiday. I drove 1,500 kilometers back earlier this year, and even me, who's super conscious of those kinds of things, I did find myself just relying on the thing. I chuck the indicator on and I go, oh yeah, the indicator's not on, the light's not there, so I'll just change lanes. So you know, what happens if the fuse blows or the feature stops working for some reason? I assume that it's working, I chuck the indicator on, I see the light's not on, I just change lanes and bang, I crash and potentially kill a family or something. You know, like I feel like it's a bad thing to have your attention taken away from the task of driving. And I see these, you know, these autonomous vehicles that take it to the next level, where you don't even have to be paying attention to the car in front of you because it just brakes for you if there's an accident. And, you know, at what point do you draw the line and say, you know what? We need to take responsibility for our actions. I mean, ultimately, in the eyes of the law, the vehicle operator is the one that's responsible for driving the car. So, you know, if there's a crash and it's the vehicle collision avoidance system's fault, as the driver of the vehicle and the operator of the vehicle, I'm still legally responsible for that accident, even though it was the car that did it. So it opens up, you know, a whole bunch of sort of, I guess, questions about that, but it also brings up some interesting moral issues as well, because how does a car go about making split-second decisions about serious accidents? And what I mean by that is, for example, if I'm if I'm doing 120 kilometers an hour straight towards a bus stop, and the car has the choice in avoiding an incident whether it's going to crash into the bus stop and kill the 20 school children that are inside the bus shelter to protect the occupant, or put the car into a spin and roll and kill me, you know, where's the car's priority, and how does the car make that decision? Because I mean, in that real world scenario, we make almost subconscious decisions, you know, based on the information that's presented to us in the moment. But a computer doesn't think that way. A computer doesn't see the kid and go, oh, I'm going to sacrifice myself to save that kid. The computer just goes, I want to avoid a crash. So, you know, does the car avoid the bus shelter, or does the car protect me? Like, I don't know. I mean, and that's, you know, I think that we put our trust in these features so easily without even really thinking about it. And I haven't actually driven a Tesla yet, so, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. I'm hoping to do that soon and actually test out some of these self-driving features for myself, just to see how uncomfortable it really does feel as an occupant of the car, letting go of everything. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the idea of a car making the decision as to whether I live and sacrifice somebody else, or whether I sacrifice somebody else for myself. So yeah, I'm interested to know what you guys think about that. You know, are you comfortable putting those kinds of decisions into a computer, or would you rather be making those decisions for yourself? And do you even consider what would happen in that scenario? Like, when you buy a car like a Tesla, are you thinking about what it will actually do in that situation, or are you just assuming that it's always going to protect you? Because there's always going to be situations that can't be avoided. Like, I mean, you can't break the laws of physics. I mean, it doesn't matter how good a computer system is. If somebody pulls out from an intersection, you know, right in front of you, and you're doing 100 kilometers an hour, there's no way you're stopping, whether you've got a computer to help or not. So, you know, in that inevitable scenario that you are going to have an accident, what happens? So yeah, I'm interested to know what you guys think about this. Do you feel confident putting your trust for your own life and the life of the occupants of your car into the hands of a computer that makes decisions not necessarily the same way that a human does? And have you even really thought about what would happen in the event of an unavoidable accident? So yeah, over to you guys for comment. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about it. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.